Welcome back, everybody. We saw a fantastic PvZ back there. Classic really showing how to beat a Zerg of Reynor's caliber. Basically relying on really perfected timing attacks. And then, of course, having this sort of endgame death ball that just sort of mows down everything in its path. Reynor in that last game tried to do a Nidus counterattack. I think it wasn't a bad idea, but the problem is there's too many bases for Classic here. So, you know, Classic, even if he loses his main, he's got half the map. And Classic's Death Ball is basically able to systematically destroy Reynor's bases in a very straightforward fashion. You just move through everything. So, you know, the base trade that went much more quickly into the favor there of Classic.
Yeah, Classic just had some really good game sense there, especially in game number 3. Going for that timing push with no Warp Prism, with just an army of Stalkers and a couple of Storms is something that we really don't see that often, especially in Korean PvZ, I feel like. It's just it's a very awkward timing that moves in a stage where Reynor's basically trying to get all of his pieces on the board. He's trying to get the Hive Tech Lurker, he's trying to get all of his stuff. Anyway, that's why Classic is so scary. The winner of this series is going to be going up against him in the winner's match. The loser is going to fall and place Reynor in the loser's match, as we have Maru versus GuMiho here in the second match of the night. Now, this is also a rematch from the qualifiers. GuMiho was able to defeat Maru 2-1. It's one of the key reasons why he was able to qualify and seed himself directly into the round of 8 and didn't have to fight in the round of 12 the same way that Maru did last week. And GuMiho is one of these guys who, in TVT, for basically ever in Korea, all the other Terrans just dread playing him. Because at times he's the best in the world at TVT, but even when he is not the best, he's so tricky, he's so crafty. He's basically like the fourth race in this matchup, where he just sees things a little bit differently from everybody else. And he is so difficult to prepare for as a result of that. And now we're getting ready to go into this match. Maru versus GuMiho, some of the best Terran players in the world, going toe-to-toe here in the round of 8 of GSL. Let's get this series started.
What?
Oh,
Maru.
we fooled you! He's playing Protoss! Maru's
He's
playing
picked Protoss. Our producer told us before we started, it's like, I'm letting you guys know right now, Maru's playing Protoss for this match.
Dude.
So we don't have a rule here for race switching.
I think, didn't we originally, I remember there was a discussion about this with Reynor, and then I think they were like, you know what?
Yeah, why not?
Reynor is such a unicorn being able to play multiple races. Let's just let this go by.
That was years ago, but yeah, so I think in the old days, like OSL, MSL, they kind of made people do one, just for branding purposes, and also like, what if you both decide to go Protoss, and it's like, oh, if he goes Protoss, then I want to go back to Zerg now, you know what I mean? But I think for now in the rules, they let you do it. So I've never seen Maru play Protoss before. I've never casted him, I should say, him playing Protoss before.
I am so excited. This is going to be so much fun. I know a lot of the Terran players who play Protoss, like Clem, is a really good Protoss player.
Well, you know, the truth is, when you get this high rank at StarCraft, you are able to play all the races. You can sit down and you know, you have to know your opponent's race as well as your own. So I am very curious how this is going to pan out, but we already have an SCV almost dead.
Yeah, that's a Maru probe. It's the most deadly of all the probes.
Yep.
I love that too. He mineral walks through. Oh, are you going to get it? It's 5 HP, so one more shot.
Yeah, I don't think he is. He's going to back out right before that Marine's out.
Oh, this is such a treat, man. All right, so Marine opening here for GuMiho. Back at home, Maru doing your quick cutter opening. 1 gate expand here for Protoss. And, you know, one of the things that I feel like the Terran players who off races Protoss do the best at is obviously playing Terran, such a micro-intensive race. It's usually the Blink Stalker control that is the most fun to watch the Terran players do.
You know, it's so funny too, because like people end up with these different hotkey setups as well for their race, and then when they play another race, sometimes you'll see those habits kind of cross over. Like I remember watching Artosis' stream once, and he had this is obviously StarCraft 1, but he had like, he was playing Protoss, and he had all his arbiters on one hotkey like they were science vessels. There was just like 3 or 4 arbiters flying around weirdly. But yeah, let's see if we have anything like that bubble up here in this game. For now, it's going to be 1-1-1 build here for GuMiho. By the way, there's a real world where like GuMiho just smashes Maru. I just want to point this out. Maybe Maru does something impressive and shows us the way with Protoss, but there's also a world where it's like, you know, of course you shouldn't play your off race against GuMiho. GuMiho's extremely strong. He's also hard to prep for. He does more different builds than anybody else in GSL.
Yeah, I mean, he is so deadly in TBT that it's not a surprise. Maru might want to mix it up and go for Protoss here. Now, he got the Sentry after the Stalker and then instantly energy recharged it. That's how he's able to get this hallucinated Phoenix so quickly. And so he is clued in that GuMiho is going for what should be a relatively aggressive build. He doesn't know exactly what it's going to be. But anytime you see the 1-1-1 follow-up here to this command center, you know that some kind of harassment is going to be thrown your way.
All right, the Cyclone's out. He can very easily track the Stalker. And, you know, I got to say, I'm a little surprised Maru was out there with that Stalker. That's kind of, I don't know, it's one of the basic things. You would not want to have that out on the map trying to fight because you know you will be killed with that. GuMiho inbound right now with the medevac.
Now here's a question, Tasteless. If Maru wins this GSL, do we have a Protoss champion?
Yeah, that's the question, right? Well, here's the thing. I think he's only playing Protoss for this match, but we'll see.
Yeah, who knows? I would love to see him mix in Protoss.
I would love to see someone come in here with random again, by the way. You're allowed to do that, too.
GuMiho did that way back in the day, didn't he?
I think Season 1 or Season 2 he did, yeah.
Oh, this is right out of the view. Maru actually has no idea these Marines are going to completely unload, and the pylon is powering basically everything, but I feel like you're probably just going to go for the probes here.
Yeah, you know, again, these are these little subtle things when you play Protoss. You're going to make sure you have vision covering each of these areas. So we are seeing the quirks of an off-race player kind of reveal themselves here in this game. He's going to drop over here. This is a long walk for the Stalkers, and it's a forced cancel. Dude, this is actually going pretty badly for Maru.
I believe. Wait until Blink's done. Wait until we see Maru blink.
No, I am a Redditor atheist non-believer, okay? I am a fedora hat wearing Redditor atheist non-believer.
Blink is done though, Tasteless. He's gonna get the medevac. He's gonna get both the Cyclones. Nah, this is some Art of War stuff, dude. Let him feign weakness, Tasteless, and then when your opponent gets overconfident, you strike.
Am I gonna be born again by the time this game is done? We've got the gateway coming down here. We've got the Robo facility as well. That's a big loss from GuMiho. You know, the overextension. He basically had stacked nothing but wins up until that moment. Not that like Maru is like back and unstoppable now, but you know, that was a
you're
catch.
kidding me. You're kidding me, Tasteless. Is he going to intercept this? The Banshee blinks on it. He spots it. Banshee gets taken out. Maru.
Nicely done.
Dude, I'm a believer. I can't stop gritting right now. I love this so much. What a glorious day watching Maru snipe Banshees and medevacs against GuMiho with Blink Stalkers and GSL. All right, well.
I am stunned he got that Banshee, by the way. Now, that must be his TVP knowledge where he goes, well, the Banshie would be here if it came up.
This is what I would be doing.
Yeah, this is when my Banshee would get up here. Nobody seems to do this.
He's going to have vision on the high ground. So there are there's 3 siege tanks.
Yeah, there's no way he should do it. Yeah. Good call. The third tank is pretty well hidden, by the way. I don't think that Phoenix could have seen it.
I think there is an angle. I mean, it's hard for Maru to get the read on this, but there is an angle where he could just blink onto the top side of that natural expansion and cause some problems. But
I don't know if he's going to do it because he didn't see the third tank in the main. He might have no idea where that is. But, well, he might see that there's nothing up here now.
Yeah, the window might be passing, though, with all the bio moving down to the natural expansion. So behind this, we have a 4th base coming in really quickly here for Maru. GuMiho about a little bit more than halfway done on his 3rd command center in the main. And Terran's playing a little bit on the back, but you're kidding me, Maru! You've been watching too many hero games, dude. That's a lot of stalkers. I don't know if that's worth it, buddy. That was
just actually.
I love it.
There's a lot of comedic gold kind of in this game. Like,
this is fantastic. He's like, well, Hero does this against
Hero
me, and
does
it works.
this, and it's pretty good. How many shots is it to kill a tank? Apparently, that's not the right amount.
Yeah, I love like the first siege tank was like 1 or 2 hits away from dying. It's just, oh man. And now Maru loses a lot of presence on the map because, of course, you have to remake some of the Stalkers, but you're not going to have the group that can one-shot medevacs like this, and also killing the Observer. GuMiho can just basically in full confidence send these 2 Banshees with no escort cross map. Whereas Maru earlier was so good with his game sense in terms of sniping, like the Banshee that would move cross map, getting the initial drop with the Cyclones and the Medevac. Unfortunately, I think he's going to be a little bit blindsided by this double drop that's going to be working its way to the natural expansion.
Oh! Does not kill that Medevac. Meanwhile, another drop over here. Killing the probe first.
Yeah, going to go right into the natural expansion now. Protoss, no army here to be found.
Yeah, Colossus is about to pop, though.
Zealots warping in. Quite a bit of them, so it should force a pickup here on those Marines. Actually, no, wait, is this +1 done already? Yeah, +1 is done for those Marines. I was going to say, that's a lot of damage. And now GuMiho levying some pressure here at the 12 o'clock position. Siege tanks, I believe, are joining this army. Yeah, just off screen, we have one of the siege tanks. All right, here we go. Maru charging in, Widowmine shots. Nice splits right there on the Zealots. Microing forward is Maru, blinks back the Stalkers, dodging the Widowmine shots. It's a great fight at 12 o'clock, able to push back GuMiho, but the damage of the natural expansion is huge. The entire mineral line gets completely wiped out.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to deny Thermal Lance. He's going to deny the Forge. I mean, this is GuMiho, just bigger, better, faster, stronger when compared to Maru. And I mean, look, again, it's Maru off racing. Will he go Protoss again? Maybe not.
I hope he does, though.
Yeah.
Let's see how this looks when Maru doesn't blink 12 Stalkers into 3 siege tanks and losing all of them. Right. But yeah, GuMiho is a little bit too strong right now.
GG.
GG. What a treat.
All right.
Oh, man, that was so much fun.
I guess Protoss isn't always that easy, is it, pro gamers?
I guess it's harder than it looks,
I guess it's not as easy as the guys on TV make it look like. That was so funny when he blinked in there, and there were like so many Stalkers getting killed. You're just like watching each tank get like an extra volley off. It's like it's down to like 10% HP. It's like shoots down another one.
Dude, the best part about it was that like a moment before, Maru had just set in the hallucinated Phoenix. He was posturing as if he was going to blink into the main base, and then he saw the 3 siege tanks, and he's like, I'm not gonna do that. That's a fool's errand. And
yeah.
And then he comes back, and 1 minute later, he's like, but what if I did?
What if I did? What if I came in even later? Well, will he go Protoss again?
I really hope so. I want him to play this entire series as Protoss. I would love that so much.
This is a huge group. Like, it's no joke. I know Maru is always kind of the favorite here, but, I mean, are you going to get eliminated in the round of 8 because you Protossed it up?
Yeah, that is a fair point. I'm not really...
Yeah.
I'm being greedy right now.
There's a lot of money on the line here for first place, you know? Like, it's a big deal to just kind of drop out.
But you know what, Tasteless, playing devil's advocate, if Maru losing this match, playing Protoss means that we get to see him play another series because he goes to the Deciders match, I'm happy for more Maru and GSL Code S.
That's Maru value, man.
All right, guys, we're going into game number 2 between Maru and GuMiho in a second. Let's see if Maru goes back to the Protoss or if we're going to see Terran here in game 2.
Protoss again.
Dude.
I can't believe he did it again. I actually really was confident he would go Terran.
I love this.
Yeah, I mean, after how poorly that game went, I'm surprised.
Yeah, it felt like there were some holes, but I do want to see how Maru would be able to play if we don't have the train wreck of that blanket to the main base, because it wasn't looking that bad. Like
there was a couple other subtle things, like just having the Stalker out.
Yeah.
When you know that the G9L, well, let's see, my friend.
It's going to be GPL after this series.
It could be GPL, yeah. Yeah, you know, it was a little bit weird. That's the first Stalker out there when you know a Cyclone can just come out and kill it. There's no escape, by the way. There's specific rules you got to follow when Cyclones are on the map so that you can get away.
His probe micro is pretty good in game number 1, though. Let's see. Aw. Not this time. But yeah, I'm curious, because there were a lot of... Like, you could tell it was not perfectly refined. Like, it felt like Maru maybe... I mean, it's hard to read into this because it's the first time seeing Maru play Protoss for me. But it seemed apparent that he hadn't practiced Protoss for this matchup very much, or if he did, there was very little.
Yeah, he understood what Protoss does.
Oh, of course. I mean, he's...
Right.
It's Maru after all, but yeah, there's some of the finer details in terms of the unit movement, like you said, the initial Stalker. Or,
yeah.
not having the stalkers in position, to see the medevac fully unload in the main base early on.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that little blind spot drop where it's like, oh, you can actually stop this by just having a pylon further out. Every time. I don't think we talk about this enough, but there's all sorts of stuff that we never ever remark on because it's so kind of built into every move of a high level player. But like the placement of every build in your main matters. Because that'll make sure that you can see a drop coming, stuff like that.
Right, and a lot of it is just instinctual stuff that comes from Protoss players too. Like these guys have, I don't know how many tens of thousands of hours of StarCraft 2 under their belt. These are the kind of folks that dream of StarCraft in their sleep. There are always going to be some kind of holes in your play when you do an off race like this one in the game. As high level as StarCraft 2 Code S.
Well, we never had anybody really come out and be a world champion outside of, I think, StarCraft 1 the first year or two. There was people that played random. XDS played random in a number of games, then eventually switched to Protoss. The game is hard enough that you can't just... we also, I should say, had Flash in StarCraft 1. He played random, got top 4 with that, won ASL. But yeah, we don't have anybody that becomes the world champ letting the computer play. I don't know if we'll ever get there in our lifetime, but there's a reason why. There's just so much you have to know in a specific matchup, even on a specific map, versus a specific play style and all the different variables involved with that you don't really have people that can kind of do it all usually. But this is fun. I can't believe we have a GSL where this is happening. This is a historic day here, the day that Maru picked Protoss against GuMiho. And right now, GuMiho is kind of delivering a point here. There's a reason why you don't see this.
It is a pleasure, though, to finally see Maru play Protoss like this in a GSL. This is not a treat that I was expecting to see by any means. I mean, when the producer told us that Maru's going to be playing GSL, playing this match against GuMiho with Protoss as we were coming in from break, it's hard to contain the excitement. Even if this is a 2-0 win for GuMiho, I'm so tickled by this series. It's been so much fun. Now, GuMiho moving cross map. I believe this is 2 Cyclones, a lot of Marines, and a Reaper. They're going to be trying to get some... Oh, it's actually... No, it's a Siege Tank coming in with this push, Tasteless. And he's actually going to be elevatoring this into the main base. Now, this is a Stargate opening here for Maru. And so this is going to be a little bit tricky here for GuMiho because those Phoenix can kind of skirt their way around the outside and lift up that Siege Tank. I mean, it's kind of a nice setup here for Maru in terms of the units that he has, and I think GuMiho, recognizing that when he goes into the main base, sees a couple of Phoenix, sees the Oracle, he realizes the danger. He's like, all right, it's hard to go for this kind of pressure into the main base. Let's instead converge all of the forces here right at the front door, because GuMiho's army together is a lot stronger than it is spread out against these Phoenix. These Phoenix are going to be hard-pressed to find some damage done against siege tanks that are basically being escorted by these Marines.
So he's got his second tank up here. I think he can hit the battery? No, maybe not.
Might just be barely out of range.
Meanwhile, this Oracle's going to start doing work, taking out a couple workers. The Cyclone's microed back. By the way, GuMiho's micro at this base has been basically perfect.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job of just inching his way towards the natural expansion. Now, the first Immortal is done here. That shield battery is going to fall. I don't think there is a secondary shield battery in the natural expansion here for Maru, so...
If he can get this Robo, that's going to be big. I'm surprised he's going for the pylons, but I guess he knows best here.
Yeah,
thought maybe it would be better to just go for the Robo itself, because this is not going to be a deny. Well, he's going to go for it.
All right, Probe's getting pulled. Let's see the Phoenix coming in, going for the medevac first, not actually going for the lift right there in the siege tank. Immortals instead trying to focus fire it down, but oh, the control from GuMiho is so clutch with the Marines. Oh, Maru, I mean, the supplies may look even, but Maru has basically no standing army left to deal
Maru,
with this.
Some of the best control in the whole world, but you can see he doesn't know the nuance of how to engage that army from the Protoss' perspective. The tanks weren't killed off quite in time. This has been a very interesting experiment we've run here.
Yeah, it's fun.
This has been very cool to see, but I mean, it will cause Maru to go into the losers match.
Oh, he's pulling the probes again, Tasteless. Let's see. Maybe there's a dream. No, there isn't a dream.
GG.
All right, GG. What a fun treat. GuMiho winning 2-0. Maru with a little bit of a smirk on his face. I mean, that was a lot of fun, but...
I know Maru's also had some issues with his wrists. Or maybe it was shoulder, so maybe there's something with that. I think specifically stutter step micro, which Terran do endlessly.
Maybe, but I mean, we saw him last week though, and he played so well with Terran. I think it's just him trying something new, having some fun. Maybe he was a little bit overconfident in his PBT coming into this one. But yeah, what a fun little adventure that Maru gave to us today here in this series. But unfortunately for him, that means he's going to fall to the losers match to play against Reynor. As GuMiho will advance to face Classic.
Yeah, Maru versus Reynor then. Okay, guys, Classic versus GuMiho coming up next. Another PVT. We're going to be right back.